Hello, everyone, and welcome to our new Friday Philosophy series. This is our first episode, and I'm really excited for you to join us today. You know, I've been working on getting myself out there more on video. I'm much more comfortable behind that keyboard typing. I've been a writer, writing something that I'm good at, whereas speaking in front of a camera, I don't feel I have that strength as much. Now, with that said, we all know that you have to work on overcoming that and making your strength or your weaknesses sometimes have to become your strength. And what I'm noticing is that video is really where a lot of people want to be. Even some people who read the blog, I know, watch videos a lot more often than they read. And I want to be able to reach that audience and help people, especially who are coaches, get their message out there more. And one of the ways right now to do that is through video. So every Friday, indefinitely now, we're going to be having our Friday Philosophy series, and that's where I'll just get in front of the camera, 5-10 minutes. I'm going to try to keep them all under 5 minutes and kind of go into a concept. This one I'm going to talk about the concept of planning versus just having the history. So this goes back to a quote that I've been sharing on and off on Twitter, and it seems like every other time I share it, somebody has an objection and says, "Oh, what are you talking about? You need somebody with a history of success, not somebody who just has a plan. A plan's worthless." And I want to go back and really stress what a plan means and what I mean in the context of that quote. You don't need to see the original quote to understand. But basically what I said is that I'd take somebody with a stellar plan over somebody with a long history of success. And my reasoning behind that, this isn't about hiring a professional. It's not about hiring a plumber to fix my toilet. It's not about hiring a realtor to sell my home. It's not about hiring a dentist to do my dental work. Obviously, these people I would want to have experience, and I'd want to know that they have a history of solving the problem that I have. On the other hand, the issue that I'm trying to discuss here is a human potential issue. And I use the word issue loosely here. And I think a lot of times people underestimate their own human potential and people aren't living up to that potential. So when I'm looking to hire someone to work with long term, I want to develop that person. I want to be working alongside them and knowing that they have a vision for their future. I want to know this is somebody who wants to succeed at a high level. And the same goes a lot of the times when I'm working with a client and I'm trying to help their business. I don't need their business to already be making millions of dollars for me to help it get there. I'd rather have somebody who comes to me and says, "Hey, I have a mission, I have a vision for my company. This is what I want to do." And then I can come alongside them and say, "Hey, that's great. I'm glad you have that vision." I'd rather work with somebody with that vision than somebody who's just like, "Hey man, I'm a great salesman. I've sold a bunch of stuff in my life, but I'm just trying to get to the next level." Because for me, it doesn't resonate with who I am. It doesn't resonate with how I do business. So I hope that kind of clarifies that. But again, I want to use this as a deeper meaning. This is Friday Philosophy for a reason. There's an old adage, and you already know it, and you already know I'm going to say it since I told you it's an old adage. And it's those who fail to plan to fail. And I think today we've gotten so far into these whole oh, well, just do this, just do that, hustle, hustle, hustle. It's all about the hustle that we forget a lot of times to pause and actually plan things out. Here's a key takeaway to remember. A stellar plan is not just something you write down and, "Oh, it's going to go that way," or "I don't know what I'm doing." It's a living, breathing strategy that you adapt, that you adjust, that you reiterate to make sure it works with whatever comes your way. A stellar plan is something that is constantly changing and growing. It's something where you say, "Okay, day 1 we're doing this, day 2 that, day 3 this, day 4 the other thing. By day 7, if we haven't seen these results of at least this much, we got to make these adjustments. Here's our KPI. Oh, we're not within KPI. Let's see what adjustments we can make." That is what a stellar plan is, actually planning that whole process out. So no matter what happens, whether your plan goes exactly perfect or whether everything goes wrong, you have an alternative. The reason I wear shirts like this is because I love the outdoors. I get teased sometimes by my friends. I'm a bit of a survivalist. So I'm all about secondary and tertiary plans. I have redundancies for redundancies. So you have to understand when I talk about a stellar plan, I'm not just talking about setting some lofty goals that you're never going to pursue. I'm talking about somebody who really takes the time to analyze a situation. I'm talking about that chess player who's 4 moves ahead, looks like they might lose, and then gets you in checkmate when you have no idea what's going on. That's the kind of strategy you need if you want long-term success in business, and that's the kind of strategy you need to focus on if you're just starting out, if you're just looking to grow to the next level. Wherever you are in business, if you don't have a strategy and plan like that, that's where you need to be. Hope you've enjoyed this first episode of Friday Philosophy. Join us next week for another one. I'm going to actually go into this point, and I'll leave you with this. A strategy without execution is worthless, and I'll explain why next week.